right, good morning. No viewers once again to start the day. Yahoo! That is what it is, right? All right, turn that down. Some background noise. All right, well, it is Wednesday, the 17th of December, man. Already halfway through December. It's crazy. Time's flying. Another trading day, another live stream. And don't really have a whole lot going on this morning. I mean, we are up a little bit here. Looks like we're bouncing off of the cues with that. The 20 moving average and a key level I had drawn out previously. Same thing here, just bouncing off of that. And what is considered off of the hourly, I think the previous day's high. So, guess we'll just get on into it. A few stocks that I'm looking at today. Obviously, if you've watched any of the live streams, past live streams, I do have trade ideas that I do kind of write out on my own, but I do have trading bots that I use as alert signals, and so really haven't been taking my own thought processes or theses on which way a stock or an indice might go. Really been relying on the bot recently. Very successful actually in the day trades, except for one where I should have cut bait early and I didn't. But that was last week. Got to put that in the rearview mirror. But looking at so far this morning, Avago, Apple, Tesla, Google, pretty much all the main culprits, right? Amazon, Nvidia, AMD, threw that into there for, you'll see why here in a moment, Shop. And then I also do have Palantir as a watch, although I do have a swing play on that. And I do have a swing play on FCX, which is just Freeport McMoran. And those were all fired by my swing trade bot. So anyway, we'll go through it. I did like Palantir even on a potential day trade today as an individual idea. But this is one thing I left off with, and I guess I'll just start with it just so. I feel like today is going to be a very important trading day for the markets, whether or not we plunge. And not like just, I'm not saying like we're plunging 5, 10, 20%, stuff like that. Excuse me, but just finally, like the market deciding whether it wants to go back up or back down. And it starts kind of here with the IWM, just as I was finishing up before I went live. I was looking, and this is on the hourly chart and IWM. So obviously, try to go up. Like every pop recently has been an opportunity to sell, seems like anyway. And so I don't know, yesterday kind of got that sense towards the end as I was watching it that, especially where things were finishing, that today is the make it or break it day, whether or not we pump up and start, getting buyers to come in. And the IWM might be the leader once again, maybe. But like on the hourly chart, look at this key level I've drawn out. The previous day's high based off the hourly because of the long wick there. But so we have all this confluence right here. So if this was to break down, I really feel like the IWM is going to start going down and in a big way, not like we're only down like a 0.25% or stuff like that. There's so much confluence there that and it's starting above it. And so, I mean, we could just gap and go and just blow right off the rocket here on the IWM, but and I haven't really looked at it. I mean, obviously we pumped up big time. We flagged there, we pumped up, and this is maybe a retest to see about whether or not the small caps are going to hold. And so we could be off to the races to pump up to, all-time highs. So IWM is definitely something I'm keeping an eye on. just because of this on the hourly. Like, I just feel like, and then, could pop off and then give everybody a chance to sell again. So who knows, right? We don't know till the next bar. But that's my thoughts on the IWM. The Qs, same thing. We're starting, above. Obviously, we've had some selling coming down, to this level here. Basically, almost looking like we're trying to fill the gap in the pre-market. It was bought up. So key level once again. So we're at key levels. And even though it's kind of really hard to see, it looks like, at least on this, we like tied the key level that I had drawn out. And I draw them out based off the weekly and the dailies. So what I deem to be the key levels anyway. Everybody has their own key levels, I guess. But so, this could be a gap and go off to the races. Obviously, you look up, we have tons of gaps to close. So the play could be up as we get ready potentially for the Santa Claus rally. We don't know, but so, obviously if we break that level, it's a lower high. We probably are going to come down and test this level here. But my thesis, or at least my thought process, is longs today. I did do a couple shorts on individual stocks that I was looking at as potential ideas just because of weakness in those stocks. But so that's the Qs. And then we have the SPY here. Once again, all key levels closed up above it yesterday. So, and we're above the 1 hour previous day's high. So could we come down, fill the gap, gap fill reversal, and then we're off? Maybe, or we just take off, right? So I do feel finally there's some bullish sentiment potentially to, like, the selling has gone on long enough. We've had actually a lot of consolidation sideways these last 2 weeks, really. I mean, it's kind of like a grind down, seems like, but I feel like maybe that could be coming to an end, which would be nice for us that prefer the long side of the trade. I've been doing lots of shorts, and if you watch any of the videos, like, I end up kind of just, I do the short, I get into profit, and then I start worrying about losing that profit. So I start cutting exiting my position before I could reach the full potential of the price target that my trading bots have put out there. So trust in them, obviously, is key. I've only had them for a few weeks, so it's really, I want to make sure they're, as accurate as they can be. Obviously, nothing's perfect, but so far, so good. I've been pretty happy with those. So those are the indices. Those are my thought processes on those. Obviously, we have a little bit of a problem up here that we got to bust through. But, yeah, so we'll get into it on the individual companies, always starting with NVIDIA. NVIDIA is just, it already was like, oh, we'll gap up. Oh, no, we're not going to. Right back into no man's land. We've been there for 3 days. And that's what kind of makes me think something's got to happen here. Something, either NVIDIA is going down and it's taking the market down with it, or we're finally going to break free and see some upside. My upside, as I said, long bias, is that this is finally going to break. So I got the doors open. I live in Florida, so if you heard that truck drive by, it's because it's decent enough out this morning that I can have the doors open. Benefits of Florida, I guess, if you like warm weather. But, been in this channel for quite some time. Something's got to break. Like, we haven't been able to breach that key level right there. So my only thought process is, well, the market would probably want to see if, there's resistance up here. So can't crack through this. Might as well see the buyers come in potentially. So that's one reason too. I've been thinking that the market is going to have a good day today. obviously it'd be nice to have a catalyst as well to help with that, which I did see like this morning something about Amazon and Chat GPT. So who knows if that's a catalyst that the market's like, oh yeah, look at the AI trade is just fine. We shall see. Man, hold on one moment. All right. Sorry, my wife was calling. So, oh, even in the time that we've been gone, look at that. Kind of getting bought up here. So, we'll see. We'll see. But my thesis on NVIDIA this morning is that it would be obviously breaking above a retest and then maybe see about a pump up to the 180-ish level, kind of somewhere along smacking into that 200 moving average. But that's my thought process on NVIDIA. I really don't see it. You know, if it does break down here, do we finally come down and like kiss that level? You know, we hadn't really done it in a while. It's actually put in some higher lows as we've gone by. So, and you could also maybe say, well, it's bear flagging, maybe on the daily, but my thought process, and it's hammering too. Like, so that's a nice inside day candle from the previous day. So I don't think so, but we shall see. All right, number 2, Apple. Apple, same thing. I feel like today might be a gap and go on it. Actually, one of my bots yesterday fired long on it at let's see what time it was. It was right at 3 o'clock. So I actually took that trade into the end of the day and won. So that was nice. So in the price target, like, you know, there was 2 different price targets. And so I took the first one just because not holding into close is something I'd want to do, or even close to it as it gets kind of crazy. But 276.14 was the target, so maybe it wants to fulfill that. So somewhere up here, but I mean, it does seem like we got some buy side upside pressure, which is nice to see for once. But so that could be a gap and go off, test this next level up here. That's the key level. Previous day's high based off the hourly. Obviously that's a pivot point and the previous day's low. So it did like a look below and fail. So my thought process is we head back up to the key level here and see if there's something that can happen with that. And actually I got 2 different key levels. That's something I didn't notice. That might need to be, wait, let's see. It'd be probably this. Well, I think that was a previous all-time high. That's why I did it. I just never switched it to a dotted line. And that does not look like it needs to be a dotted line. I need to do some chart updating. So I would probably do something like this. Maybe slide that up a touch. There we go. Oh, geez. Put that up there. That was a previous. Just Change the color. Red's always the all-time high. So I went too far. There we go. Oh, E-Trade. Sometimes. Anyway, that that looks better for me. So yeah. Looks pretty good. Yeah. So I'm on the bull side of the camp today, although the next one that we look at, so yeah, 277 is what I look at as a, now if it gaps and goes, I used to get into those all the time, not going to do that anymore. So I don't usually do that anymore anyway. It's kind of, my risk tolerance for that is kind of, you know, you just get that rejection, especially with what's been going on in this market. Like every pop sold, so gap and goes, no goes for me. But Google, which I have a swing position on, my hope is that it finally comes through. But obviously we've been flagging like this, but we're below this 20 moving average on the daily. So I'm not too happy with what's going on. I might have to cut bait on it pretty soon, and if it breaks down, which as I was watching yesterday, I was like, oh boy. So I'm glad to see the look below and fail, hoping that maybe this is a gap and go, get back up to these levels or up in here. But I do feel like there's, and it's been surprising that it's, you know, it used to be one of the leaders, especially after Nvidia was kind of not doing its thing. You know, obviously the MACD is still showing bearish sentiment on the way down. So, no, and you know, then we have this kind of inverted hammer at the bottom, which is not, it's a green candle at least. So, and it touched that key level, and I really don't need that blue. So, looks like it's wanting to be support, but not fully certain just due to the candle structure. And so would be nice to see it recover, get above this pivot point, and then want to push back up into these levels. But if we do break it, and I have alert here, man, excuse me, looking at it as a possible short down to the 295-ish level, actually, because it's thin structure on this side over this way. If we pull it out on the 4-hour chart, you can just see not a whole lot here. There was already a rejection there, and then we just went straight back up with a lot of selling pressure as we went up with all these long wicks. I don't know if you can see it that well, but right there. So looking at it, maybe clipping and tagging this around 295. So that's my thought process on that. Google, not necessarily fully bullish, which is not good for me on my long-term swing. So we shall see. Sorry, I'm just looking at something else as that's going on. Hate like those, I don't know if it happens on any other platform, but you see all of a sudden like these like phantom like moves that make no sense. And you're like, what in the world is that? That's just what happened on one of the other screens I was looking at. So, all right, Tesla. Tesla, obviously, awesome day yesterday in a market that was not awesome. Who knows if maybe it starts carrying the market. It looks like it double topped in the pre-market, so we'll see if today there's a pullback in order. But this yellow line is based off a fib projection on the daily. So I went from this line to that to this pullback, and so on a break and retest of the all-time high, the red line, and we obviously have, you know, closed up near that on the hourly, so that's the previous day's high off the hourly. If it is to break, retest, and hold, you know, that's my expected move, is up to the 510 level. So definitely looking at that as a possibility. Tesla being a top watch just because of the major strength. And if we have strength in the overall market, you just have to assume that Tesla would be even more potent than it's already been. So that's my thoughts on Tesla. Amazon. Amazon has that news with ChatGPT. Obviously been basing there for a little bit, but you know, we got this wonky kind of, it almost looks like an H pattern, so kind of good for that it moved up, and maybe nullifying a potential downside swing through that level. That's what gives you hope when you start looking at some of these things and you're like, oh, not that hope should be something you want to hang your hat on, but you start seeing maybe a trend in sentiment with some of these moves. So obviously gap above. Thought process is with anything, most of the time gaps like to get filled. So come down to the previous day's high, touch and retest. Hey, you two. Hey, you guys stop arguing. I don't know if you could hear the dogs. But so break and retest, we obviously have the moving average right there. So maybe this acts as a confluence zone of support. And then we springboard back up to the 226. So on Amazon, I think I already have an alert somewhere. Well, I don't think I have an alert, but it will be on my watch list that we could look at that as a possible long if it holds off of this and goes. Buying the dips seem to be a lot better than the break and retests on previous day's highs. Although this would be that, but it'd be a gap fill, potential reversal on a hold. So I like what Amazon might have to offer on that as far as that goes. Avago. So Avago is on my list, even though like you would be like, what are you talking about? Straight down plunge. Well, that's exactly one reason why. We obviously had a good bit of buying yesterday on that key level. We have the gap here below, so that's obviously a concern that maybe that, who knows if this builds out like this and then plunges down. But yesterday, one of my swing bots, and it's based off the daily chart, fired this as a long opportunity. So very interested to look to see. Obviously have a good bit of strength since it's bottomed all the way down here these last few days on the MACD. Not that you should hang your hat on any indicator, but kind of gives you some insight. Didn't really necessarily pop this morning, so we shall see. But nonetheless, if it does hold this and we see this as kind of like a basing and we're coming up here, I do see it maybe coming up to this level to test to see if it is resistance or if we can bust through it. So I do like it as a possible trade and a swing trade. So keeping my eye on that this morning to see if I want to get in, at least on a swing trade. So even the simple moving average here on the 20 is kind of basing and of forming back up as well. So maybe potentially it might build out like this a little bit more as this comes up. Then we got the rocket ship to head on back up, catch back up to the 200-day moving average. So yeah, I like Avago to see what is potential out of that. AMD, that's what I'm looking at this morning as well. We're kind of doing like obviously we had a look below fail, look below again on a higher low, so almost like failing. Obviously neutral on the MACD, stuff like that. We have these gaps, so that's obviously always a concern. But I do feel that we're at the key level here that I've drawn out. So previous day's high, key level. So that would be like a potential demand zone if we are to hold. So if we hold kind of off to the 215-ish level to test the moving average to see if you know, we have any buy support through that and we go higher or whatnot. So that's one of my thought processes with that. You also kind of have like this shoulder, head, maybe a build out of a shoulder, so it comes down. So it might be a longer trade to kind of wait and see play out, not necessarily first thing in the morning. But yeah, so come down to fill the gap and then maybe make your way back up. So fill, maybe it sits here for a minute, then comes back up. So yeah, that's one of my trade ideas this morning. Obviously, I talked about Palantir. I'm in that as a swing position. It's had some awesome strength. I wish I would have actually held it down here when I first got in. Held it up into the 176.7 area right there is where I sold it because it was at that key level. And, you know, it just right here, flag, breakthrough of the flag. We're now above that previous day's high on the daily. So do we gap and go? We have the big gap up here all the way to 206 from the earnings when I decided that was not good enough with the market. So, you know, can it come down? Maybe, but I don't know. I don't think so. It's had so much strength that my thought process is a test of the previous day since we're kind of above it and we're off. So, but I could be wrong because we did have that breakthrough there. Never like, well, we did have a test there of it, but in the daily hasn't had a test of it since it broke through. So maybe it does, but we've also had those couple candles where it held, didn't hold, went through. Maybe it wants to test it to see if it will hold this time before it makes the next leg higher. But 191 long would be what I would think just to the pivot point. Didn't really look over. Pull it out on the 4 hour just so I can see it a little better. Could even say that's a double bottom. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, you could even see it kind of blow right through, maybe up to that key level. So relative strength in the market, maybe we see that today. Who knows? Last one is Shop. Shopify has been one of those ones as well that had a nice little run up. It's had some big candle days on the daily. Had a nice confluence zone with that. Supported off of the key level. Do we have continuation? That's the key. So the daily doesn't tell too much about it. It's really just we are starting the day, I guess, right in line almost. Well, it's kind of having a little bit of a hard time with that. Pull that up here. You don't really need that. That was off the key level. That was in the after hours though. Or was it? Let's see. No, it wasn't. I'm still on the 4 hour. That's why I'm having. Don't necessarily like to draw it off of that, but here we go. Yeah, so that's exactly what I was thinking when I was looking at it. But yeah, so we're above previous day's high. So do we have a gap and go with the small caps, right? So the IWM had all that confluence. Who's the benefactor of that? Because most small businesses maybe use Shopify as their sales service, I guess, conductor, just to process transactions and stuff and have websites and all that good jazz. So I would maybe see that we blow through this if the IWM shows, you know, any sort of strength busting through or holding that major area of confluence. So I like Shopify here. Target is that, but it's already, I mean, we already had a nice candle, then that got bought up, and now we kind of started on a gap up, went down, filled it, and we're kind of having some issues there, but maybe it's because of this. Who knows? But yeah, I like Shopify here. And anyone who's followed or watched Shopify tends to have some pretty big moves at times. So one reason I like it, the options contracts are kind of spready, so really try to get in with limit orders. So, and then you got to exit with limit, which kind of caps your upside a little bit because you get worried that you might not get filled because it'll gap up past your limit order. I've had that happen before where it was up higher and then like, you're like, oh crap. And then you try to change it real quick, but then it fills it and you're like, dang, I missed out, but that's okay. Making money as long as you do that is good with me. If we just look at it on a whole right here, we have the VIX down here, kind of just, had a nice collapse in the end of the day. Maybe that's why we had so much strength. Hopefully maybe it continues to slide down. It looks like it's kind of on the MACD curving, so who knows if it stays flat. What do you want? Well, relax yourself. Dog's striving for attention without the mama here. Yeah, I know, I see you. But, yeah, so if we keep the VIX collapsing, then maybe we have a nice day. But that's where I'm sitting. We didn't have any news. I mean, I checked it this morning. Cryptos went flat. It was down this morning when I first looked. So at least on Bitcoin. So that's nice to see. Maybe we see that. We did have some news that Warner Brothers said take the Netflix deal. Paramount. It wasn't a hard choice, chairman tells CNBC. That's funny. Apple punted on AI this year. Next year will be critical. Wow, geopolitical stuff there, huh? Wow. Now that could ruffle the markets maybe a little bit, at least in the oil market. Who knows? Robinhood is rolling out NFL parlay and prop bets. They just keep adding everything. They're going to be like the Amazon of the trading and betting market, I guess. Yeah, but there's the OpenAI talks with Amazon about investment that could exceed $10 billion. Orwellian. Okay. Coinbase, everything exchange. Yeah, I have Coinbase. I haven't looked at it in quite some time, but hold on 1 minute. My dog lost his ball. All right. Sometimes you wish you can block the ball from going underneath the bed. That's where my office is. My trading setup. Anyway, but yeah, I hadn't looked at Coinbase in some time. Mainly because of the tanking of Bitcoin, so Alphabet owned Waymo and talks to raise $15 billion in funding. Oh my gosh, this dog. Hold on. All right. I guess I'm glad I have no viewers because I'm not really glad about that, but I don't know what that means. All right. Anyway. So yeah, well, we're at 9:25. I didn't get chasing my dog's ball is the last thing I've been doing for the last 2-3 minutes. So I do have to get ready real quick for the trading day. I'm going to put on some music. Some calming music. That seemed to work well for me yesterday. First day I had it. But I'm going to be right back. And we'll be ready to trade. Hopefully have a good day, right? All right. One moment. All right. Back. One thing I wanted to mention too before we get started here, 9:26 on the clock. Do have a Discord. No one's in here to join me yet, but come on in, right? I figure as long as I keep doing this, maybe eventually some people will come watch me. And, you can join me on locals, free. Discord, free. Assassins, Sabermetric Stock Market Assassin. Same for both of these. And, we can talk stocks or whatever. But I also am offering my trade bot. So as I take trades, I will be putting those in here. In the Assassin's Bot Trade Signals Den. You can get the code for free. Well, you can get 1 month for free using the code ASSASSINSDEN. And hopefully as those trades commence and do well for you, hopefully, or if you just want to follow to see what I'm doing. And you do your own analysis. This is an education and entertainment channel only. So, you can support me that way and see what happens, right? But it would be $60 a month after that to have access to see trade signals that fire. So, or just come here for free and let's just talk general stuff. Let's talk stock market stuff. Let's post, successes as you've had them. I didn't post mine yesterday. Should have. But I don't have anyone in here right now, so kind of weird to just talk to yourself, right? But there we go. There we have it. You can also follow me on X. These are all in the description as well. Sabermetric1 on x.com. If if you want to follow me there as well. All right, let's get ready. We have 1:05 left. Lag that I do have, or latency, is about 8 seconds. So all right, got 35 seconds. Quick prayer to the Lord for a good day. Please guide me in my trading and decision making. All glory to God. All right. 15 seconds. Put it on the main screen here. Look at, yeah, see, like Avago, even if I just, it's very interesting. Who knows if the bot knows, but I don't know. But looks like, oh, there we go. We are starting, we are off. And just come over to the main screen here just so we can look. Yeah, no. Apple. We have Tesla. Scroll in a little bit. Google doing what I was thinking it might. Unfortunately. Just everything is... just any sort of pops are just seem to be sell opportunities in this market. See what happens. I mean, it's already, the market's already flat. Like, so the S&P is at 0.05, I should say, 0.09 on the NASDAQ. So see if Tesla has that strength. Sure looks like Tesla's gonna run. The S&P wanting to see what's up, maybe. Yeah, Google. No strength in Google. Alert long on the IWM right off the bat. See, I was wondering about the IWM, which makes me wonder if Shopify is... Oh, wow. What the... That just popped like a missile. What the... Like to see it come back a little, not just take off. So it just gaps up like that. That's crazy. But you almost wonder, let's see what just Shopify is doing. Yep, Shopify did pop as well. Right there. Nvidia tanking. See, I was just with... I guess that's the decision everyone wants. Sell Nvidia on any sort of momentum. I have a hard time believing that the long side on the IWM would be legit if we're gonna see that sort of negativity out of Nvidia. But I mean, we saw that before, and was the price target? 285. Yeah, that's not a very. It's only right up to about here. Not something I want to necessarily trade, I don't think. Maybe it goes higher, who knows? But the NASDAQ weighing everything down. Nvidia weighing everything down. I mean, just the main tech plays all going down. That's why I haven't really been able to trade any individual stocks. Like, it's just been a hard play to do. And remember that confluence that was right here? So that must have been, just blew up right there. Probably should have been watching the IWM at the start. Bull trend neutralized. Tesla's a long. Tesla just shot long. 506 price target. Let's just see what's going on here. So maybe Tesla's a good play. So 499, actually 500 is the first scale out, so right here. Google's below, just what I was thinking. Wow, we have lots of stuff firing off here. Yeah. Kind of hard to believe that that would be a good play. Best to wait these first 15. See what happens. Any upward push is sold. Still the case. Even in Palantir this morning. Watch the IWM here just because of all that confluence. We'll see. Even FCX is selling. So all the pop, but I mean, maybe this is, well, no, actually there's no gap fill. There is no gap fill on the S&P and the NASDAQ that I see. And it never did gap. Just E-Trade has horrible chartings. Yeah. And that's why I didn't trust that. Could still very well hit up there, but back here. All right. Apple's up. Yep, breakdown there. I'm expecting 295 on that. Oh, it's holding. Maybe. That's a pretty nasty MACD first. could hold. Google has been bad trade. Should have gotten out of it. Apple moving up. Maybe Avago going for the gap. Remember the Tesla, there's two different levels on that. 506.11. Oops, hard to do it on this chart. Nope. Avago below. See, Tesla got more notifications. Nothing, just letting me know a lot of the bull trends are neutralized. Yeah. We're on Tesla right now. Oh, we have a spike in the VIX. So we're below. So the IWM's holding up. Look at that. The only relative strength on the day. Everywhere else is a sell. Like, it's pretty crazy. Not sure what I want to look at. Shop didn't hold on. AMD. So we're all breaking back below those key levels. Amazon still has yet to do a gap fill. So maybe that's still a gap fill reversal play. Who knows? Apple up. Tesla getting totally rejected. Google totally rejected. Like I said, I expect 295 on that. Horrible that I'm holding that as a... I should have cut bait. Obvious repricing of the AI stocks, which is sad that Google's getting an AI evaluation when it's not just solely that sort of company. Palantir getting rocked from its opening. I mean, it's down only 1%, but still. So many trucks going by here today. That's weird. It's a horrible market. Like, it just... nothing that makes you want to trade it, really. sell side moves and that's it. Looking and waiting. This is a residential street, and I've heard more trucks going up and down this street than, geez. Almost makes me want to shut the door. It's getting to the point of annoying. Yep. Google would have been the trade. Chipotle. Is Chipotle having a good day? One of the mainly, or probably only stocks. Oh yeah, look at that. Bam. Right up into the gap. Or up into the key level. It's going to fill the gap probably. Short the Qs, huh? The thing is that when I'm not ready for it, then it fires. I mean, why am I going to short it way down here? That's crazy. Wow. Some pretty bad confluence. Looking at it as we speak. What was the what's it saying to go to 607.77? Right there. Oh my gosh, why is there so many trucks out here today? This is like the most randomest day. Alright, I'm going to take the trade because I think there's enough bad juju in this market. And we'll see what happens. It's a confluence of two zones plus 75% continuation. We'll see though. Well, see if that was a bad move. Oh boy. Yeah. Maybe. Maybe a bad move. Jeez, why do I catch the bad moves? I told myself not to do this one, too. We'll see. Confluence of 2 and 75% continuation is pretty pretty good indication. IWM says long. That's crazy. What's the VIX is going down. Well, we're gonna let it sit and play out. It's kind of right there at the wow, there's been so many trucks. Trying to give it a chance to breathe. See if there's more downside. Who knows? Wow, why is there so many trucks? That's the theme of the day is trucks nonstop. I'd like to see it break this level here. I don't know. Don't know. Here we go. Let's continue. These are always so tense. Tense moments, especially on the short side. It shouldn't be that way though, right? Like, I mean, it's the same going down as it is up, right? Same concept anyway. Oh, there we go. Let's push down. Apple's a short now. Well, that's not going to help on the Qs, that's for sure. Right? If we're going to push down further. Who knows what we're going to do? Not looking positive for me. Unless this is like a bear flag. Lordy, Lord. Let's see if we did something like that. Makes you wonder what, let's see, NVIDIA not selling. So that could be one problem I got going on. But is this a bear flag is the question. Not looking like it. Oh, Lord. Wondering if it hits the moving average there. It's already past my stop loss. I should have, but I was thinking maybe it would finally break through. At some point this has to be a dusted goner. So frustrating. It's weird to... Usually a confluence score of 2 plus 75 would be a big time indication that we would have considerable downside, and it has not even neutralized the pattern yet. So that's one reason I've been holding on, is I feel like it's, I mean, but I could be dead wrong, which I'm dead wrong right now, so can't catch a break. That's definitely not a bear flag, right? See if people use that as a sell. Sure not looking like it. Come on now. What is going on? There must be like some sort of construction going on. It's the only thing I can think of. See, it's like, was that the manipulation to like get liquidity to sell so they could push it lower? Who knows? It's getting bought up. Never been so patient. Let's see real quick. Okay, VIX is climbing back again. Who knows if we push lower here? I guess the moral of the story might be for this is to I should have waited maybe for the pullback to the moving average, but would have definitely had a much better play. Really need to see it pump down. I did have this earlier, so maybe I should keep that up, because if that doesn't go, then maybe it's time to cut bait on this thing. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Probably should have. Still not notifying me that there's any sort of see. Yeah. Who knows? I have another ugly loss. Need something to happen now if it's going to happen. It's probably just a sideways chop market, and from this point forward, and I'll be stuck here. Oh, come on, man. Let the bot be right. Gotta break through that. I would think 4 touches on the SMA would have to maybe push it lower, but what do I know, right? What do I know? Boy, oh boy, that's not good. I think I gotta get rid of this thing. Looks like it's bear flagging, but this might be it right here. If I see it start really taking off, I'm gonna have to get out of this thing. I'm gonna take a big hit. Come on. Like on the 15-minute, it looks like it's flagging. But the S&P is going. IWM still says long, but this has been one crazy bear flag if that's what it's doing. I want to see it break through finally. Yeah. This has to be it. We need the push. Will it push? That's the question. I should reduce exposure, but I'm not in the best position to do that. Like, I'm already down 630. Put a little bit more size on this because of the conviction in the confluence zones. So I was really thinking this would be the move, and like the one trade of the day that I would want to take. It was past 9:45, I believe, maybe. So, jeez, it's just whipsawy. I mean, if it dumps, this is the dump, right? This would be hopefully the end of the bear flag, and it would break down. My hand's so sweaty holding onto this mouse, like just ready at any moment to just either sell out of the position or get ready to have the breakdown happen where I can strategically exit some of the positions so I can mitigate risk. Stressful, stressful. This is finally it. For whatever reason, that my stop is what was my original stop is seeming to be the pain in the butt here. And let's just see you break through and go down. Jeez. On the NDX, that the MACD is crossed over. So I feel like there's got to be hopefully a push down, but this thing is stubborn. Jeez, come on, man. This might be it. This might be where I have to exit out. If I see it go up, I'm out, like way up. Not liking it. Not liking it one bit. Yep. Shit. This might be it. Is this it? Looks like a double bottom. Can we please see the breakdown now? And I swore earlier and I hate that. Just want to see the breakdown happen. It's been a long wait. I'm sure anyone who's listening to this in the future would not want to hear these trucks go by either. So I'm hoping this is my one trade and I'm done, but it's not looking good at all. I mean, it's crazy. It just keeps getting bought up. I want to see the push down. This is a long flag. The NDX is going, I mean, it's kind of getting bought up right now a little bit, but I would like to mitigate risk, but come on, we've tried long enough. It's interesting to see the buys like as it hits that line, like right here, this line, it just seems to snap back every time. It's It's really unbelievable. Every time. I almost wonder if, like, can we push down? Longer hold than I like to do, that's for sure. Been given this spot a benefit of my doubt for a while now. It's got to bust through that level. This level is like, I don't even, that's my stop, and like, it's acting as clear support. It's really insane. The S&P is, that's the one thing I'm not loving. Oh, jeez. Come on. Come on, let's go. Jeez, this is nuts. What's that? It's like that's the neckline of a double top, you know? And it just doesn't want to crack it. Caught in the chop and the slop. Horrible. Just does not want to go down. This is not bolting well. Yep. Shoot. Giving it one last chance here. If this doesn't reject, I gotta get out. I don't think it's gonna happen. Just not looking good. It's unbelievable. I mean, it still looks like it's flagging, but that's not good. Wow, dang it. If it gets above that wick, I probably got to get out. There it goes. Shoot. Still looks like it's flagging though, like on the 15. That's why I'm like, but that's a double bottom at the same time. It's just not. Not good for me. I'm getting destroyed. Should have just cut bait down there. It's still not on the 15 minute. It's still not like above the moving average. So I'm kind of looking at the 15 and being like, maybe not today. Maybe it will reject it back down. But Just couldn't punch through. Wild market. Was that the liquidity they needed to push it down? Who knows? Wow. Will it happen this time on this big candle? Will I get lucky? I got a short on the Qs again. All right, well that makes me feel a little better that this might finally happen. The target is 608.88 though. So that's a little bit different. If it actually happens. Just be up, down, up, down, up, down. Come down here multiple times, and every time that level, man. What is it? This is just a stop loss level, and it's like the legit brick wall. And that was an orb. Breakdown. Super annoying. I'm caught up in the chop and the slop. No real way to get out of this thing without taking a good sized loss. Like, shit, look at that. Play a reject off of that. I just keep looking at it on the 15-minute, and there's 2 minutes left on that, so I'm not sure what's going to happen, but the that level's like a brick wall. I should have just got out and maybe did a long off of it. It's freaking ridiculous. But this is either like the longest bear flag ever, or the 15-minute is not showing any signs of it being like, so I'm kind of holding it, and the S&P is just going sideways. But I mean, this is not good. Never trusted those orbs. This is the make it or break it. I do not like holding trades this long either. This is like torture. Like the NDX has been bear flagging, it seems, for quite some time. And the MACD is sloping downwards. That's the only reason I'm still holding this thing. As soon as I see any sort of break out of this, I'll cut bait and lick my wounds, and I probably won't trade the rest of the day because this is just horrible to be in. And if I take the L on it, like a nasty L, I'm just, you call it a day when you take those sort of nasty shots. But really just this candle needs to bust through. Like, can't just be sitting at this level anymore. This is it. Wasting a lot of time with a 0 DTE. Really has to bust through, go down. Where's the selling conviction? Right? Yeah, just pop right off of that level. Jeez. Can we finally see a breakthrough? I don't know. So I think if it actually goes through, finally maybe. There's the short again. Staying this level here. This might be it finally. No. Just get bought back up. That level, man, right here, that's just oh, the SPY is now saying a short. All right, well, so now we're starting to get some alignment, maybe. Held it so long though that I'm still negative on the position. Jeez, that just sucks. 608.13 now. What's going on? Where's Melly? I can't concentrate on this and the dog at the same time. Am I finally going to be in the money? All right. Just got rid of some. What a trade. What a trade. I am going to be done for the day. Push, 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 push. Then I can get my dog. You know what? I'm going to have to get out of this to see what the heck my dog is doing. Just want to get that last little push. I'm just going to get rid of it. That's it. I'm out. I'm out. Gotta check my dog. Whew. All right. 332 made, but I was down 1,000. That's nuts. I held it for so long. Wow. Let's do one of these. What is it? There we go. Cha-ching, that was probably loud. I'm sorry. But guess what? Victory. And I'm glad I got out too. Finally, multiple confirmations after my first initial entry. The only reason I held it longer was because I saw the bear flag on the 15. It was, I'll show you. Oops, I went way over here. So, I don't know, I can't put it just like right in the middle. There we go. So, it was just flagging like this and staying below that, and I saw this curling, so I was like, you want to know what? I think it's that time. And that wasn't a bad trade. I mean, I might go lower, who knows, but hey, I'll take it. Whew, what a comeback. Now, the only thing that sucks is my other trades are taking a beating on the swings. Yeah, look at it go. That's crazy. But yeah, so what is this other one? I don't even know what this one is. Oh yeah, that's the opening bell. But we'll do one of these because we're so happy. Oh, look at that. It's going to push through. It hit actually the level that my first shot ended up saying when I took the trade, somewhere along these lines. Whew, but you want to know what? That's it for me, man. I am donezo. This market was Chop City for a little while before the decline down. Unfortunately, all my swing trades are taking a beating. The only one actually who's doing decent but still down is FCX. But oh, look at that. I don't even think on the bot here, the next one, it was 607.20. So yeah, I was saying to come down in here, maybe tag this line right here, but hey, I'm happy. It was very close to where I was originally wanting to get out. Anyway, that's it for me. I hope everyone has a good rest of their trade day. If you do end up watching this later on and you get to see my trade, you'll see how I was, you know, it's not a very good risk reward, that's for sure. But options are tough. You can't necessarily have risk rewards on those sort of things. I feel like, you know, to be down almost, actually, it was over 1100 at one point. And to have the cojones, I guess I'll give myself a pat on the back that I actually held that. Like I said, my stop loss had said the 609.93, which is right where the moving average is right now. And, you know, just watching that 15-minute as well, kind of using that as a guide to be like, it's still bear flagging, gonna hold. To end up making 3 something, hey, I'm happy with that, right? 332, you can see my other swing trades aren't doing good, FCX doing okay. I will take it and I will run to the bank. 332, one good trade. It wasn't really good. It was, I feel it was lucky, but my bot never, you know, it will tell me if it neutralizes, and it never did. So that was another reason why I stayed in that trade. Anyway, if you want to follow me, you can go to X. I don't have it up. Let me go back up here. I don't have it up right now, but x.com, sabermetric1, or at sabermetric1 is my handle. Just starting out, so hey, you know, 4 Republicans forced to vote, whatever. But yeah, Sabermetric stock market assassin, Sabermetric stock market assassins den. Come join me in there. Post your victories. I'll be posting mine today. Locals as well. I do have swing trade bots as well. Get access to those. You can sign up for free at locals.com, but then also, you know, get the free month if you want to see trades I take with the bot. Well, it's really starting to go down now, though. IWM is saying short. But ASSASSINSDEN, all caps, all one word, gives you 1 month for free. Then it's $60 a month after that if you would like to have access to the bots. Oh, wow. Breakdown. I'm glad I was on the right side of the trade. Just took a little longer to develop. And that was actually kind of like an H pattern too. So flag, bear flag, whatever you want to call it. But looks like we're not going to have a very good day. Could have held longer. But happy nonetheless. De-risked after, you know, so I really kind of capped my gains after that. I could have made a bunch more actually if I would have not capped my gains. It would have, at this point, with it continuing the downside, right around $1,000. But it is what it is. So, anywho, take care. See you next time. I am done.